Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next multiplayer matchup. I am playing on the bridge. We're doing an Exterminatus mission with 3,000 points. I'm playing as the Blood Angels against the Tau. I wanted to try and see if just doing a big meat shield jump boy technique would work, especially with the 3,000 army point sizes. We have a 100 point target and a 10 turn limit. So pretty much I'm trying to do all jump infantry with some commanders to be able to buff everybody around. And then I'm also going to end up bringing some Hellblasters, because my thought there is that hopefully I should be able to shoot down any breachers that are in the way and be able to do some decent damage against the more heavily armored units if they are available. So I've got 2 lieutenants, I've got 3 sanguinary priests. One of the lieutenants has a thunderhammer because I had some extra points. I've got one of the sanguinary priests here, as you can see, as my HQ unit to try to keep him alive and in the back here. I then have, I think, 5 or 6, 3. How many Hellblasters do I have? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm just going to keep him in the back. I just don't want him to get sniped out. I'm just very worried about that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, so 6 Hellblasters with just a regular plasma incinerators. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 assault squads with just the standard kit, and I've got, I think, 6 Death Company, and I've got 3 Landspeeder Tornadoes with the Heavy Bolter, Heavy Flamer combo. So hopefully if they do have a bunch of breachers and they're blocked together, I can just charge in there and flame and kill 2 units. And also use them with the Heavy Bolter to snipe down any units that are almost killed as well. And then all these jump infantry should hopefully help me close the distance and snipe down any units that they have, because they with the chainswords have enough armor piercing to help us get to where we need to be. And if these assault squads end up getting killed, then we can use them to soak up overwatches as well. And if they, when they still suffer model losses, as long as they still have a unit left, we can then use their crack grenades. So we'll see what we can do, and if there are a bunch of weak units, then we can see about trying to get model kills with the Death Company to try to further improve their damage. And we'll bring this other land speeder over around the back here. Now I suppose I could have done that anti-grav unit to try to get some more movement, but wasn't really thinking about that. So we're moving. It looks like this is that player that goes drone crazy. That may or may not work for him with my build, because we both have low tier units. Now, the one thing that's kind of obnoxious is when he has the ethereal buffing them up, because they actually have pretty good evasion. And as long as they fight low tier, low armored units, these guys can actually do pretty good damage. So what my hope is that he's going to run in here, charge, leave a bunch of them over here, and not realize that I've got the flamer set up, and then I can just flame through a lot of his drones. But what can be really problematic, especially on this map, is with these drones, a lot of players, well, some players will bring them, and then what they'll do is they'll move up and they'll attack you, and then they'll put them in the center, so then you can't quite reach them. So it gets to be real obnoxious. Now, unfortunately, when you have all these units stacked up like this, it's really affecting the accuracy of my Hellblasters. So I'm just trying to decide, well, what do I want to do here? And it's like, well, let's bring some Hellblasters into the center here. So hopefully they'll have a little better chance to hit when these guys come and overwatch into you, or come move into you. Because I can't foresee there being any situation where he's not going to charge in here with all of those drones and not want to attack my units there, because they should be able to do decent damage against the infantry. Now he'd do a lot more damage against the assault infantry, but one of the nice things about the Death Company is they do have a little more armor, so that should make them a little more resilient, whereas he'd easily be able to shoot down the assault squads. So yeah, all that evasion. Alright, so we're killing models. only took out one squad, unfortunately. It's pretty abysmal. Let's take a look at what kind of damage these guys do. Now the one good thing is, yeah, see, they still do pretty decent damage. Now it's gonna, yeah, see, he's gonna do the whole hit and run situation here. But the good thing about all these drones is normally what happens when you're killing Tau units, that you'll get, all the other units will get momentum when they get their attacks off and they die. But for drones, they don't count, so I wouldn't want you to be fearful to kill the drones thinking, oh my god, he's gonna get all these momentums by having all these units get killed. But look at that, I mean, he's attacked with like almost a whole drone army, and he's just now taken out one of my death company. Now kinda interesting, he's got the Fire Warrior strike team, but he's got them on their default builds. I really think, especially against the Space Marines, having them use their long-range rifles is a better way to go. But I think what he likes to do is he uses them just as body blockers to help protect his breachers. Because now what he's effectively doing is going to put them all on Overwatch, and it's going to prevent me from being able to jump and take out his units. But it's like all three of those guys just shot into here, and they weren't enough to kill even a single unit compared to his Pathfinders, which do a ton of damage. Now, interestingly, he's got the Riptides, and he actually looks like he has them equipped with the what is it called, the Ion Accelerator. I think I have yet to see that really pay off, so I'll be curious to see how it goes for him, because you have to pay extra points for that, I think. And if he would have done attacks against those units with his regular chain gun or whatever it's called, that would have taken out a whole squad.
Potential targets detected.
So yeah, he's still got a lot of forces here. What I'd like to do is take out his ethereals, because they are going to just keep continually buffing everything. So I was hoping that these guys would be able to take up more Overwatch than that, but that Overwatch just took these guys out completely. So it's like, okay. It's like I can charge in there, but if I do the charge attack, they're gonna die. So it's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna move in here with these other guys. Now, for a second there, I was like, oh, I'll have this great idea. I'll just run in here with these Hellblasters.
Victory for the Bloodblades. Victory.
And this should help me get the kill of this ethereal. And then maybe I can jump in behind there and start messing them up once I get them this tactical precision. I thought, oh, for sure these guys should be able to do 200 damage. But it's like, damn, I only have a 50% chance to hit right now, so I gotta get all the way up to here first. So I do that, but it's like, okay, now I only have an 80% chance to hit. So it's like, well, maybe we'll do this, and I can shoot into there, but it doesn't improve at all. But it's like 8 to 11 times 20, so it's like maybe I'll get the attack hits, maybe I won't, I'm not quite sure. And he's got 13 health left, so I'm like, shit, now I've just guaranteed their death. It's like, do I run down here with these guys with the hope of throwing a crack grenade down? And so it's like, well, let's do it and see what happens. And it's like, okay, so you actually survived that, whereas the other guys didn't, so I don't know what to make of that. But it's like, alright, well, at least now we've taken out that ethereal. That was our whole point here. So now it's like, well, what else can I do here? It's like I can jump you in the back, but then you're gonna get shot up. But you still survive, so it's like, alright, that wasn't the end of the world. We'll start pulling these guys back. It's like you're too far away to be able to get in there. I don't want to charge in there with my assault squad, so they're going to get killed. So it's like, well, maybe if I do a bunch of rear attacks here, I can then use my hell blasters to snipe these breachers down. So it's like, that wasn't great. It's like, well, I'm pretty committed at this point in time now, so it's like, well, we'll just keep trying. And he's still got 2 models, so I'm like, shit. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have all these guys over here, and then he's going to end up using his grenades on me. I suppose I could have buffed up their damage a little bit. It's like, well, if I get back here, I think I should be able to see everything, and then maybe I can just start throwing some crack grenades to take out his ethereal over here. So maybe we'll start focusing on these pathfinders while we're here. Because what I should be able to do is just jump you guys over this way, be safe, not activate these overwatches, and just start throwing some crack grenades into this guy. So it's like, yep, that looks like what's happening here. So it's like, nice. I'm happy with that. We'll keep this going. It's like, let's get you here. Still not setting off any of those overwatches. Throw another crack grenade. Boom. So now I just need one more crack grenade and I should be able to get the kill. Now what I didn't think of is I could have done the assault cannon strafe across those breachers, and had I gotten that breacher kill, I could have totally destroyed these guys, assuming I can get the kills in other areas here. But we'll see how many points I can get. It's like if I bring this guy up here, we can flame through the tactical drones and clear these guys out. It doesn't look like... It's like, well, maybe I can get the shot off onto you. You got 38% chance to hit. It's like if I jump you down into those guys, everybody else is going to get shots onto you. So I think that's just a bad day. So I thought, well, let's just get you back here. Now we can throw that other crack grenade. But for whatever reason, you can't throw a crack grenade from this location on the stairs. It says he's behind full cover. So this is one of the things that just totally drives me nuts about this game, is the cover system. Because it's like, in what world would hand railing be full cover, whereas everybody else can get shots into them? So I don't know if it's just a coding issue or what just happened there. But that was pretty obnoxious. So it's like, okay, well, now we've got these guys here. So it's like, what do I want to do? He's got all this overwatch. I could start doing some strafing and taking these guys out, and then maybe I can run in here and just start taking other ones out the following turn while I'm jumping down. And I was like, well, we'll just run you up here. But I didn't think about all the guys that were going to be doing overwatch shots in the air, so I'm like, shit, because he still has pathfinders back there, which I had forgotten about, that are going to do a ton of damage. Like, I'm not worried about all these fire warriors, but the pathfinders are the ones that I was like, shit. So now they're shooting into me, and thankfully I didn't get myself killed. But it's like, alright, now you took those guys out. It's like, well, let's start focusing down some of these breachers, I guess, because they're going to be the ones I'm most worried about. We'll pull you back to here. And he still has the breachers over here that are messing me up. because they still haven't done their overwatches. So I was like, what am I going to end up doing here? I can jump down there, because that was originally going to be my plan, is I was going to jump down this turn if everything went out okay. But now it's like, well, he's either going to try to run from me, or he's...
Moving into position.
He's either going to try to run from me, or he's going to pull... or he's going to engage me. And either way, if I have all my jump troops on the bridge over here, then he shouldn't be able to set up overwatches in every direction. Now, unfortunately, that did not go well. In terms of their chance to hit. And I actually forgot that I had a second sanguinary guard back, or sanguinary priest back here, so I could have also buffed range damages. So I'm like, oh, melee damages with my other units, because that probably would have helped me almost get a kill on those pathfinders up front there, and that would have saved a lot of health. It's like, well, I guess we're just gonna move you guys up here.
Target acquired.
We're on fire.
So it's like, alright, well, let's pull you back. I'll keep moving you back this way. I'll move you over this way so you can maybe start buffing our other units the next turn.
Hellblasters awaiting target.
I could have used tactical precision had I been thinking. Because he even had an action point left, but just very sloppy.
Crew awaiting orders. Target acquired.
We're on fire.
Alright, so if we dropped one of those guys,
Plasma fire support ready.
I was kind of hoping I was going to get enough points to run another strafing run here, but
The blood blades of Skyfall.
that did not happen. And it's like, well, let's throw a crack grenade down here and maybe we can almost kill another unit. And unfortunately, it did kill one model, but the splash is not very significant, so... Well, we still got these guys over here. So it's like, well, let's just start pulling you guys back. Because I'm going to definitely end up losing this side here. And then maybe if he extends to run all the breachers down to attack my Hellblasters, then I can maybe get some kills. I was hoping that these guys were maybe gonna kill, but he's got freaking one shot left. So now he's gonna have a free unit to just be running around and throwing those damn grenades on me. So we're gonna keep pulling these guys back.
On my honor.
It's like, well, let's do this to try to increase your melee.
Before I was born, and should the Emperor will it, on Balfora, I will die.
We want to space our guys out enough so hopefully the commander won't jump down and use his flame attack. Because he could kill multiple guys no matter where he is. So we were to take 2 of his ethereals out, so that's good. Now, interestingly, he pulled back and shot in like that, where I think he wanted to give his ethereal some momentum, but he could have just done a flame attack and killed the guys here, but it is what it is. So he's using the grenade, lowering their evasion chances. He's going to throw another one of those over here. Yep, so he just affected all 3 of those Hellblasters. So that's kind of interesting. You overcharged it and must get some more splash damage when that happens. Yeah, see, he ended up jumping the commander back because he wants to buff his guys' damage. He'll use that single breacher to kill those guys. Fire warriors are shooting down the Hellblasters. Still has those other breachers here. Debuffing our other guys. He's got Pathfinders over here. Unfortunately, he's gonna... Yeah, so I don't know what ended up actually killing him. Because it didn't show me an attack. So it's like, does he have a... Did he attack with his other units, or what? So that was a big bummer here. So now he's used his broadside. I assume he's got a broadside to launch those missiles over here. And then with them using that bonus damage, they're taking increased... because I use their ability that gives bonus melee accuracy and damage, but in exchange they take increased range damage the following turn, so that's why they were able to get so much damage dealt to him there. He's running down his drones to try to lock me up here, and then using the breachers to debuff everybody with their grenades. Yeah, see, I just don't think those drones pay off a whole lot for him here. Alright, so we've got these guys. Now the nice thing about having such a weak force is so many units will die that you can stack up a bunch of command points. And so now I'm like, well, what do I want to do here? I can run you over and I can start buffing our guys, or I can do multiple strafing runs. He pulled these guys over here for me, so I should be able to just charge down here and get some attacks. Now, I was a little disappointed to see how low their chance to hit was. And unfortunately, I forgot I had a second Sanguinary Priest again. So in my mind, I was thinking, oh, that's my Sanguinary Priest as a command point, so I don't want to use their stuff right now. But ideally, I should have buffed their damage, because what I'm going to end up doing is just jumping everybody around here and start getting some attacks. Because again, I need to take out these ethereals to stop them from stacking up all those evasion and HP, because it just gets so hard to kill everybody. So now it's like, well, shit, I think I can just keep charging in here, and I can probably take his commander out too, and that'll stop him from being able to summon crisis suits on me the following turn. I mean, my chances to hit are lower because of those stupid grenades that they threw on me, those photon grenades. It's like, alright, you got 70% chance to hit here. And since I've killed all of his other forces, if I take this guy out, he doesn't have any more HQ units.
Ranged plasma under request.
It's like, I just need to guarantee that this guy's taken out. So it's like, we'll run you over here even though it's probably overkill. And they failed. So I was like, I can't believe you just failed me. So it's like, alright, well, let's shoot into these guys. Hopefully you can get the kill. And he does. So now I've got these guys all locked down so they can't run anywhere. And now the big thing is just taking out breachers, because if I can take out the breachers, then the rest of these guys can take everybody else out. So it's like, which ones am I most worried about? It's like if I come up here, I can also fight some Pathfinders. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can position this to get as many guys as possible here. Because it's really wonky when you're trying to strafe these. It's like I can strafe up the stairs, but I don't think I'm going to need to. And it's like, let me just make sure there's not more breachers somewhere else here. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to get to 3 to be able to do a big run. But it's like, well, I could just maybe shoot these guys. And unfortunately, that does not work very well. It's like, well, shoot into here, I guess. And not do any damage. So I'm just kind of pulling these guys back, because the following turn they should be able to jump. And that should allow me to get in there. I'm just kind of debating, like, where do I want to shoot, where do I not want to shoot? And it's like, well, I don't think I actually need to strafe here, because I can just use all these Hell Blasters over here to shoot these breachers down. So it's like, alright, well, let's do that then.
The sanguinary priesthood serves the will of the chapter.
I'm still just trying to decide, well, do I jump? Do I not jump? What do I want to do here? 'Cause I just can't decide the maximum way to get some kills. It's like if I use a Death Company, then I can start buffing them. And of course here I realize, oh shit, I got another Sanguinary Priest. Why the hell didn't I just attack with this guy earlier or do some buffs? So I attack here, and it's like, well, I guess we're just going to come over here and attack these other tactical drones down. And it's like, screw it, let's just run you down here. We'll charge attack. You just got to land 3 attacks and you should be able to get the kill. And they did. And then now I know that I wasn't sure if tactical drones were going to give you credit for triggering their Black Rage, but it, as you see, it definitely does. So it's like, alright, well, that's good to know for the future. So it's like, well, let's just keep picking off as many of these guys as we can. I hate to keep giving them all this momentum, but if I can just keep units alive, I should just be able to swarm them effectively. I've still got these guys, so I'm like, oh, I can just run up here and do some charges and be able to do more damage. But ideally what I should do is I should have done some strafing runs first, because I'm wasting attacks by doing that. But at this point in time, I was still debating, like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to charge over here? And it's like, I just got to strafe them, I think. And we'll bring up here. And, you know, that'll be 2 breachers and a Pathfinder with upgraded weapons, so I feel like that's worth it. So we do that, we shoot into them. And it's like, let's do it again, because this should allow us to take these guys out. Because if it does, then we won't totally lose this left side of the map. And it's like, alright, now I've done decent damage, so we come over here, and now these breachers are dead. I probably still would have had to attack those breachers with the sanguinary priest, so it probably wasn't a major loss. But it's like, alright, well, it's still kind of annoying. It's like I got a full breacher squad down here, and I have a lieutenant with a thunderhammer. So it's like, let's just run down here, and he should be able to squad wipe this with just his regular attacks. And he hits there. And we attack him again. And he's got one model left, so it's like, alright, he's got two breacher squads there, but they're both significantly injured. So it's like, do I pull them back? And I said, screw it, let's just pull them back and we'll jump, even though that means you're not going to be able to jump the following turn. It doesn't really matter, because he'll be alive. And it's like, I can use your guys' pistols and you should be able to guarantee the kill here, and you do. So it's like, okay, now he's just got the one breacher, some fire squads. These pathfinders over here are going to be a little bit of a problem, but we should be able to start locking down these riptides to help us do more damage. It's like, I've got you back here. It's like I can charge into the riptides, but I think I would rather start focusing on these pathfinders because they're going to do just a ton of damage. So it's like, we'll charge into here. And you killed 3 models there. And it's like, ideally, I would have you kill these other guys. So it's like, do I kill guys here or do I come over here? And it's like, let's just focus on the full health guys so we can take them down. And then you can run up here. And that should help. And then we'll run the Hellblasters forward. And it's like, oh, let's actually run you here, because then that should help lock those other guys in. And if he tries to move more than just one square with his fire warriors, assuming the priest doesn't get sniped, that'll help get some zone of control. And he's using their overcharge ability, so he just squad wiped my assault marines there, unfortunately. He's going to use the breacher to try to take him out. He's running his other breachers up to do more shots here. Takes out a model. And he's going to just keep shooting into my assault marines since they have the damage debuff again, or the ranged damage debuff, so they get extra damage dealt to them. So that's why they're suffering all this damage here. But again, look at how little damage all these fire warriors are doing. Now it's nice in that when they die, it gets them a bunch of momentum. But if you would have had more breachers here, or more pathfinders, you know, crisis suits, there's lots of other things that he could have done that would have given him a lot more return for his money, I think.
They died before they fell. Their sacrifice will have meaning.
Now this was kind of weird. I'm not sure why he did this, but he decides that he wants to do some zone of control stuff. I guess he thought, well, I want to guarantee that I get some hits here because he was too close. But at this point in time, I'd be doing everything I could to try to minimize the amount of damage I would be taking, because now we're into a war of attrition. It's like, well, I could strafe these guys.
Close combat support.
You're over here.
To the sky, brothers.
It's like, who do I want to attack? It's like, I can use you guys to come over here. I can do some damage here. It's like, what's going to be doing more? It's like, that gives us 50%.
The sanguinary priesthood serves the will of the chapter.
It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to want everybody to charge in here and get kills. Because the riptides are now the riptides, and those pathfinders are the ones I'm most worried about. And the riptides are going to have limited ability to do damage to me compared to these other guys.
For Sanguinius.
So it's like, let's just run you back here. These guys are weak, so you should be able to get this kill pretty easily. I don't think I want to do the crack grenades. So it's like, alright, they're down.
Assault Marines ready.
Let's just run you over here, try to do some model kills.
Yes. My blade for the Lord Emperor.
It's like, well, let's get you over here and kill these Pathfinders. And now they're down. It's like, if I run you over here, that should do quite a bit of damage. It's like I could use them to take out those squads. I don't know if I really have to, though. If I do this, then they should be able to get 2 attacks. So it's like, how about we just use your charge attack, get over here, start smacking them down. Now ideally, I would have liked you to go behind them to do more damage, but we're just stuck in front here. It's like, well, let's move you up here. I'm just trying to debate, do I attack here or not? But it's like his thing is on cooldown, so we might as well just move you down.
I am the sword of Sanguinius. With haste.
And you can start slapping these guys. And we can hit again. And they've been taken out. We can move you down one more, and now those guys are locked down.
The blood waits.
Heal these guys. And what I can do is run these Hellblasters forward. And they should be able to kill that single breacher. Or I can just kill the breacher with this guy.
We can handle it.
Because he's got a single unit there. That's what we do. And now these guys can run around and get rear attacks. And that should be enough to get the kill here. But unfortunately it's going to blow up and damage all of our guys here. But we're still going to have enough to take the win here. And that counts as a kill. Or a tally towards our Black Rage. So it's like, alright, now I've got 2 strafes, so I can just strafe twice on these guys and kill all these guys. And then we can do another one here. And they've been taken out. And now I can just do a charge attack up this way because they hadn't moved yet. And you can start fighting that Riptide. And we'll try to run away with the Hellblaster, although it doesn't matter if he gets the kill really, because those are not going to be a make it or break it point situation. It's like, well, alright, I still got you guys here I forgot about, so I guess we'll just shoot over here. And we'll just move up with him. And we'll move over here, assuming he's going to attack the lieutenant there the following turn. But we pretty much have this on lockdown at this point in time. So he runs over there and gets some attacks. He tries to move through our zone of control for some reason. Takes a bunch of damage.
All systems operational.
Really fixated on trying to kill those assault marines. They got a second attack.
You'll need more than that.
Fire warriors can't do anything against our guys here. and victory is ours. So it's like we should just be able to get some shrounds and everything on his guys here and chop them up. And, or at least we would, but the other player conceded here. So we ended up taking the victory here. So definitely worked out in our favor. I don't know how I feel about this composition. I mean, it obviously worked out very well for us. The bridges make it very hard for ranged units to get good damage because there's so many obstacles that are blocking the line of sight and the range. So it makes it hard, especially for the Tau, with the kind of build that he has. Now, he likes to run 2 independent parties, well actually 3, he splits them up into thirds and come down. Now, for whatever reason, he really likes those drones, and again, I'm not sure it really makes a lot of sense. I think he just likes having them all there, and then he can just run interference, and then because of the hover ability, you know, he jumps on and off the bridges and can use them to obstruct things. But yeah, one, you can bypass it with jump troops. It doesn't really make as much of a difference than if you can lock them down. But as you can see, the breachers, I think, are overtuned. They can squad wipe a lot of different things. They use those grenades. They have marker lights, so they can just do a lot of stuff. And that really can hurt you when you're trying to initiate with your jump squad, because you don't want to be doing charge attacks into breachers, or they're just going to be able to kill you. Now, he has an interesting technique where he brings the low-tier fire warriors and just uses them effectively as a body block to act as bodyguards for his breachers, so then they can always get those shots off, because they can still do pretty good damage at a range of 2. And then he can use them the following turn to lob the grenades and then get into a range of 1 and mop everything else up. He definitely likes to use like the death ball technique, where you just kind of keep everybody together, use the ethereals to buff the evasion, the HP. You have the commanders to be able to buff up range and damage. Ranged accuracy, I should say, and ranged damage. And he really likes the Riptides too. Again, I think the build he had today didn't really work out very well with those accelerator cannons. Now, it did allow, I shouldn't say that, I mean, it did allow him to snipe my land speeders across the bridges and things like that, but I think the bigger thing for him would have been guaranteeing squad wipes for those assault marines, because once I was able to get in there and just keep throwing wave on him, it definitely affected things. I think the big technique when you're using somebody, when you're playing on a player like him, is just always focus down those ethereals if you can, and then to realize that if you get a good roll, that your assault squad, when they use their ability and then a charge attack into the ethereal, 1 attack can be enough to wipe them out. The Hellblasters with the regular cannon, I thought they were going to actually do a lot more damage than they did, so they were okay. Actually, the regular Space Marines with all the frag grenades probably would have done more for me. It did allow me to get some sniping damage done on one of the ethereals and the commander, but again, I think just throwing frag grenades and doing some of those other things would have actually been more utility. And grenades on the bridge map, especially if you're playing against another player that has a lot of infantry, can be very devastating, because you can bypass the cover of the bridges. It allows you to not have to, you can clear out the center area there to help your melee forces get in there. So number one way that you end up losing the bridge map is you have your guys spread out too much, and then you can't get them to cross the distance from one bridge to the other, and your force just gets eliminated, and that's how you end up losing these. So you can bypass that whole situation by doing a heavy infantry build. I definitely felt not having the Sanguinary Guard, especially against taking out some of his higher tier units, where I could have just slaughtered a lot of units with the Sanguinary Guard. But if the players like myself, who like to do broadsides and crisis suits on this map, they can snipe out those Sanguinary Guard like nobody's business, and then you're out a ton of points. So I think going a low tier jump infantry will help you do just a ton of damage and kind of bypass a lot of those missile attacks. I think it would have still been a difficult map had he gone missile heavy, especially if he had some cadres where he'd be sniping out my HQ units and things as well. So to each their own, I guess, but I'm still not convinced the drones are a worthwhile technique. I've played 3 matches with this guy now, and he really likes those drones, and it's only really worked out for him where it was a game-changing strategy on one of our matches, and I think that one has yet to be uploaded, but I will certainly do that. But I think this is definitely a viable strategy against the Tau, as long as you just have overwhelming forces and you can close the distance. Keep your HQ commander alive so you can then do the strafing runs, because if you end up sacrificing a lot of units or suffering a lot of death, most of the breachers are going to be grouped together, and you can just do a couple strafing runs, weaken them all down, and then finish them off with your melee troops. And then once they're taken out, you can lock down the Pathfinders, Fire Warriors, Commanders, things like that. But if you're, again, the big thing that would be very difficult is if he has a bunch of Crisis Suits and he goes with the Flamer build. That will absolutely annihilate this force, because you're not going to be able to do enough kills. They're going to then use the Commander, and every Fire Warrior, or every Crisis Suit's not going to have a Flamer. Then if they have Ghost Nails, they have additional Flamers, and they can just liquidate this force. So you're never quite sure when you're playing Space Marines, are they going to go a heavy build or a troop build, because the troop build, especially if they do Flamers, are absolutely devastating to the build that I did here. And then you definitely would be like, God, I wish I had a Sanguinary Guard, because at least I could run in there and kill some of those Crisis Suits, because the Crisis Suits actually take a surprising amount of hits to drop down with all of their armor, even against the Assault Marines. So finally was able to win a match here with the Space Marines, because I find generally they get countered pretty hard by the Tau. So I think with some of the building techniques that he was using here, like I said, I think it was kind of suboptimal, allowed me to clear the field pretty easily here. But I definitely look forward to playing some more players with the Space Marines against the Tau, because I still think there's things that need to be optimized with my builds that are going to help out, because I definitely don't feel like there's one good build that has really made a huge difference when playing against the Tau. It really just comes to be the luck of the draw, like, oh, did they just select units that I'm going to effectively be able to counter very easily, or am I just going to be very screwed? It just seems like the matchup falls into one of those brackets where it's going to be incredibly easy or nearly impossible. So I feel like there's got to be builds that are going to be somewhere in the sweet spot in the middle. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. It encourages me to post more content for you. Have a great day.